Hey Blue Man, my name is Leo. I play as 2Q on KGS and I haven't done any reviews lately, but I'm very much looking forward to analyze your game. I haven't seen the game yet, but I really hope that I can anyway provide you with some ideas and maybe find some moves where you didn't play correctly. So let's just have a look through the game. Okay, so you play as black, you're 21Q, so slightly weaker than your opponent is why you got two handicap stones. He starts with a 3-4 point, you already do have these two 4-point stones, and you play this as your first move, and actually that's the first mistake. Because normally in the beginning we want to take the big points, and the big points are the corner points. So playing the first stone in the corner is the best move possible. Playing a second one like this one or this one is maybe the second best. And taking the empty corner is just bigger as compared to playing an extension and a corner enclosure like this. So you continue, and your opponent also doesn't take the corner, so he should also have played somewhere here, but plays a 3-3 invasion, which is fine. And the normal Joseki-like variation is something like this. So I think this is, especially for a double-digit Q, this is one of the first sequences to learn. So this is very, very normal. If you do have the 4-4 point, like in this situation where you already have d4 and your opponent plays a 3-3 invasion, then this is the most normal continuation. And as you can see, white takes the corner and will get about 7-8 points in the corner, but black gets this nice thickness here, and will be able to make some points around A or maybe in the B area later. So in this very moment, this is a little bit strange because the upper left corner is still empty. If instead of this move you would have played here and now your opponent plays here and we play the very same sequence, you can see that this is much clearer. So what black got is much clearer in this scenario, because now it is you can easily see that it is relatively easy for black to get some points around A, maybe also here in this B area. In this scenario, it's not that clear because white may, in fact, as a next move, play something like that and prevent black from making lots of points here. So in this very situation, it's not 100% sure that this is the right variation to choose, but definitely, especially for beginners, you should either take A or B, because that puts most pressure on white's one stone. And the move that you played, this one doesn't put as much pressure because there are more liberties left for this white stone, and there's still some more space left. Okay, white goes out, fine. So after this white's move, actually what black got in this upper left corner is some influence towards this A side. So I prefer black to directly play an extension, so like this, or maybe even go for the corner point, even though this is a little bit far away, it's still fine. You took this move, which is not important at all. So this is an endgame move. This is about 1 extra point for black and 2 points less for white. So this is a 3 points move, definitely too small in this stage of the game. All right. Now finally, white takes the empty corner, which is super important at that moment. Oh, and we don't like this move for various reasons. on the one side it's bad shape. So this shape, this triangle around this empty space A, is called an empty triangle. It's a very poor shape in Go. So if you look at this group, you can see that there are only 3 liberties, right? Only these 3. Or if we put that in the very middle of the board, then if we count, we see it's 1. Oh, where's the counting tool here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 liberties only. If we compare this with this formation, here we have, as you can see, 8 liberties. So 1 liberty more, the group is a bit stronger, and you can see that this group is just bigger in terms of space. So you have more influence with this formation. You can make more territory, and this is just very poor shape. So if you for example, think of the next move here, you can see that these stones are totally not efficient. So yes, they are connected, but they do not make any territory. They still do not have lots of liberties. So we always try to avoid shapes like these. On the other hand, this is not the most important area of the board. So your opponent just invaded here, and you really want to answer this. So for example, play a move like this, or maybe this to get something, right? So if you play here, for example, let's say you play here, then you say, okay, you can take the corner, you will get some points around A, but I will make the B area and will get probably some more points. Or if you play from this side, then you say, okay, at least I do get these points around A, and you maybe live in this area and make some points here. But if you continue to play here, which is not that forcing, actually your opponent can just answer here, and this makes problems for black because now your group has only 2 liberties left. And it is not, even if your opponent ignores it, it is not really possible to play honey here, because this is very annoying. This will be pretty complicated for black. So this is not the right place to continue. Okay, your opponent plays this move only, honey is better, because as you can see, your opponent will just get 1 extra point. And if he continues to extend along the 3rd line, he will just get 2 times the points that he gets if he extends along the 2nd line. All right, you play here. Still, I prefer to go either here or maybe here to put some pressure on this stone and claim a larger area for yourself. Yeah, same here. Not exactly clear what you want to do here, right? So if your opponent, for example, continues here, oh, he in fact did, then your opponent makes this nice territory, and it is not that clear what you get with this move, right? So he gets A, and what do you get? Maybe this B, 6 points. It's not clear whether you get something around C, because your opponent might still invade, might still reduce from this side. So it's not that clear. We always prefer to play clear moves like this one, where you say, okay, I take this big A area, right? So you continue here, you want to build something in the middle, but as you can see, the middle is not, or yes, the middle is big, but it is hard to make a lot of territory in the middle. So this is also why I said in the very beginning that the most important, the most valuable moves are in the beginning typically in the corner, next you go for the side. So maybe your opponent may play here to take this side, because it is still easier to make points on the side compared to the center, and then the center is the very last thing to do, right? Okay, the review is already pretty long, so let's continue a little bit quicker. Yes, your opponent says, okay, I want to have this nice corner. And you say, okay, I just take this very small center territory. And yes, more points. This is probably not that necessary, but at least you found that that this group isn't that strong, and that you might have problems if white cuts here at A. So, okay, yes, and your opponent is very consequently just extending his corner territory. So here he says, okay, I take 4 more points here. I think this is better, but that's a detail. And then he finally takes the last empty corner, and it should still be possible to live there, right? So again, if we think of this sequence, then something like this could happen, and white lives here in this variation. So there are more variations, and it's a bit complicated, but it should still be possible for white to relatively easily live in the corner. And this is even easier, because you again played this move, which does not create a lot of pressure, instead of this or this one. And in this case, this is obviously better, because here it is still relatively easy for white to connect to this stone, so black can't do anything against it. So this is why in this situation we would just block from this side. Okay, you continue. I guess nothing big happens. No. And then finally we count, and there's no counting here. Oh damn, do we have to count ourselves? Okay, white won by 12.5 points, as we can see, and wow, this is a very nice explanation for what I said, right? So white took the corners, took the sides, built territory along this lower side, built territory here in the lower right corner, and along the right side, upper right corner, and took another corner. So basically white has 3 corners. Yes, white has 3 corners. Black has no corner at all, only has the center, and the center territory is just not big enough, because it is just harder to make points in the center. Okay, so I think this is actually what we learned. So especially in the early game stage, we always first play stones in the corner. We try to get the corners. Next, we go for the sides. So this one. Next for the sides, and then black takes another side, and then white takes another side. And then if everything is occupied, then we start thinking about the center, because the center typically is not that big, and especially on a 13x13 board, but it's also true for a 19x19 board. This is one thing, and the other thing is, if you have the 4-4 stone and your opponent invades at 3-3, then basically you have 2 options. You have to block. You can block either on this side or this side, and it depends on the rest of the board which side is better. But you almost always want to block, and then the normal sequence is, and again there are lots of variations, but the normal sequence is this one, and it stops here. And black gets this influence towards the side, and white gets some points in the corner. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for uploading your game to Go Academy. I hope you liked my review. Good luck for your next games.